Welcome back to Stoic Wisdom TV. Most men believe that infidelity is a mistaken, unfortunate accident, a fleeting moment of weakness. But that is far from the truth. The reality is that some women are programmed to cheat, not because they are evil, not because they despise their partners, but because their psychological patterns, habits, and emotional wiring make it almost inevitable. If you fail to recognize the warning signs, you'll find yourself wondering what went wrong while she moves on without a second thought. Today, we will delve deep into the archetypes of women most likely to cheat. Pay close attention, because if you've ever encountered one of these women before, you already know the kind of destruction they can bring into a man's life. 1. The attention addict. She's never satisfied. Some women claim they want loyalty, devotion, and a man who worships them. They say they desire a man who puts them first, treats them like a queen. Yet, when they find such a man, it's never enough. For these women, the biggest addiction isn't love, it's attention. You could shower her with time, loyalty, and commitment, but the moment she steps outside, she needs every other man in the room to see her. And if they don't, she will find a way to make them notice. She seems charming, confident, and fun. She laughs easily. She flirts effortlessly. She draws people in with an almost magnetic pull. On the surface, it seems harmless, but then you start noticing things. Maybe it's the way she constantly seeks validation. Posting photos designed to elicit responses from men. Maybe it's how she never stops mentioning the guys who flirt with her, as if she needs you to know she's always in demand. Or perhaps it's how she flirts just enough to stay within the bounds of plausible deniabilities, keeping one foot in the realm of possibilities. The greatest mistake men make with attention addicts is believing that if they love her enough, she will no longer need the attention of others. But love is not her drug, validation is. Like a gambler chasing the high of a win, she chases compliments, stares, and admiration. At first, your attention excites her, but over time, it becomes predictable, stale. She craves fresh admiration, something new to reignite the thrill, and that's why she starts looking elsewhere. She doesn't cheat because she wants to hurt you. She cheats because the dopamine rush of attention is too intoxicating to resist. And once she finds another man who can make her feel special again, the cycle repeats itself. 2. The woman who's always bored. She's addicted to chaos. Some women fall in love fast and hard. The rush of a new relationship, the butterflies, the passion, the obsession, it consumes them. In the beginning, she texts you all day. She tells you she's never felt this way before. You become the center of her universe. And then, it fades. Not because you've changed, not because you've done anything wrong, but because she is addicted to the thrill, not the stability. At first, she won't admit it. She still acts low-vying. She still posts photos of the two of you. She still says she loves you. But something feels off. She stops texting as much. She seems distant, distracted. And when you ask what's wrong, she says, nothing. But deep inside, something whispers to her, is this all there is? Some women are not built for stability. They say they want commitment, but when they get it, they don't know how to handle it. Perhaps they grew up in homes where love was unpredictable, where fights, breakups, and chaos were the norm. Perhaps they only dated toxic men who kept them on edge, never truly sure if they were loved or not. To them, love should be intense, not peaceful. So when they find a good man, stable, kind, consistent, they don't feel safe. They feel bored, and boredom is dangerous. It leads to restlessness, to subtle tests, to unnecessary fights just to create drama. It leads to wild nights out, to chasing the thrill of single life, to an unquenchable need for something more. One day, she meets a man who excites her. Maybe it's a co-worker who flatters her. Maybe it's an ex who unexpectedly reaches out. At first, it's nothing. But over time, she pushes the boundary further and further until one night, she crosses it completely. And when you finally find out, she won't even understand why you're hurt. To her, it was never about betraying you. It was about chasing the feeling she had lost. 3. The eternal betrayer. She will never change. Some women don't just cheat, they perfect the art of betrayal. For them, infidelity isn't an accident or a lapse in judgment. It's a thrill, a pattern, a way of life. While others value relationships as sacred, these women see them as a game. with every deception fueling their insatiable hunger. They don't feel guilt gnawing at their conscience. They don't feel shame weighing on their hearts. When caught, they play the role, flawless litter streaming, apologies flowing, hands clutching their chests in mock sincerity. I made a mistake, they whisper, I'll never do it again. And yet, like clockwork, they do. Psychologists label this as compulsive infidelity, an affliction of those who lack empathy, who relish in deception, who derive pleasure from getting away with what others wouldn't dare. These women aren't simply unfaithful, they are addicted to the power of seduction, the rush of secrecy, the thrill of levying on the edge of exposure. They do not cheat out of loneliness, neglect, or unhappy nestos are merely the convenient justifications they spin. The truth is far simpler. They cheat because they want to, because they can, because it's who they are. No ring on their finger, no vow exchanged, no heartfelt promises will ever be enough to bind them to loyalty. Even when they swear they've changed, even when they claim they've found the one, they will always find an excuse, a loophole, an opportunity. I wasn't happy. He didn't appreciate me. It just happened. But nothing just happens. Every affair, every betrayal, every shattered heart in their wake is a calculated move in their endless game. And if you fall for her, you are not special. You are not the exception. You are merely the next name on her ever-growing list of casualties. The only question is, will you recognize the truth before she moves on to her next victim? For the party girl, a prisoner of the night. Some women don't just enjoy the night, they belong to it. The flashing neon lights, the pounding bass, the electrifying energy of strangers' eyes on her, it's not just a thrill, it's her lifeblood. She's the queen of the dance floor, the center of attention, the wildfire that refuses to be tamed. To an outsider, she is intoxicating, free-spirited, adventurous, the kind of woman who makes ordinary life feel dull by comparison. At first, levying her feels like an adventure. She pulls you into her whirlwind, making you believe that with her, every moment will be unpredictable and exhilarating. But what you don't realize is that she's not just chasing excitement, she's running from something deeper. Stability suffocates her. Routine feels like a prison. The idea of committing to one person, to one path, is terrifying because it means letting go of the fleeting highs that fuel her existence. She might tell you she's ready for something serious. She might even convince herself. But the moment she feels the walls closing in, the moment she senses the weight of responsibility, of expectation, of a love that demands depth, begins to itch for escape. The glow of commitment fades, and suddenly, the unknown feels irresistible once more. It's not just about going out, it's about how she transforms when she does. The drinks flow, her inhibitions dissolve, and soon, she's forgetting she's in a relationship. She basks in the attention of strangers, soaking up the validation, the fleeting admiration, the thrill of being wanted. It's not that she doesn't crave, it's that she craves the rush more than she fears the consequences. And when you confront her, she'll call you insecure. She'll insist it was just a dance, that she was just drunk, that you're overreacting. But deep down, you know the truth. She isn't just testing boundaries, she's playing with fire. And fire, no matter how mesmerizing, always burns. The tragedy is that she doesn't see the cage she's in. She believes she's free, but in reality, she is trapped forever, chasing the next high, the next night, the next moment that makes her feel alive. And anyone who tries to hold on to her, to save her, will only find themselves lost in her endless cycle of escape. Because at the end of the night, when the music stops and the lights fade, she is left with nothing but echoes of the thrill she can never keep. 5. The one who can't close the door to her past. Some women don't just hold onto memories, they hold onto people. An ex isn't just a person from her past, he's a door she refuses to close, a connection she won't sever, a lingering presence that shadows your relationship. She may insist it's harmless. She may say, we're just friends, or that you're overreacting, reading too much into things. But deep down, you know the truth. If she had truly moved on, she wouldn't still need him in her life. Keeping an ex around is never just about friendship, it's about keeping options open, maintaining a sense of security, a safety net she's unwilling to cut loose. Maybe she enjoys the attention, the nostalgia, the unspoken power of knowing there's still someone out there who once wanted her, and perhaps still does. She might not actively betray you, But the betrayal begins long before any lines are physically crossed. It starts in her mind, in her refusal to fully invest in the present because a part of her is still tethered to the past. Think about it. If she truly respected your relationship, why would she need his presence at all? A friendship built on a foundation of old love, past intimacy, and lingering what-ifs is a dangerous game. It's not about being controlling, it's about understanding human nature. When someone refuses to let go of an ex, it's rarely for innocent reasons. Whether she admits it or not, there's a piece of her that still belongs to him. A chapter she's not ready to close. You'll notice the signs, the way she lights up when his name appears on her screen, the unnecessary mentions of him in conversations, the subtle comparisons that slip through when she talks about relationships. Maybe she even gets defensive when you bring it up, accusing you of insecurity, of jealousy. But ask yourself this: if the roles were reversed, if you were the one clinging onto an ex, how would she feel? Love demands presence. True commitment means cutting away the ghosts of old romances to build something real in the here and now. If she can't do that, then she's not truly with you. She's straddling the line between past and present, unwilling to choose. And if you stay, you're not just dating her, you're competing with a memory, a battle you will never win. Because in the end, love isn't about keeping doors open. It's about choosing the one person who makes closing every other door feel effortless. And if she can't do that for you, she was never truly yours to begin with. Many men fall into the same elusianti belief that with enough love, patience, and sacrifice, they can change a woman's nature. That if they prove their worth, endure the storms, and give her everything she desires, she will finally see them as enough. They convince themselves that loyalty is something they can earn, rather than something freely given. But the harsh truth remains: some women are simply not wired for commitment. Some crave attention more than they crave love. They thrive on chaos, mistaking it for excitement. They always have an escape route, a backup plan, a safety net of admirers ready to catch them if they fall or if they decide to jump. A man who ignores the warning signs invites his own downfall. The red flags are always there, subtle at first, then glaring. The way she flirts just a little too easily. The ex she never fully lets go of. The way she plays the victim when confronted, twisting your concerns into accusations of jealousy. Each time you rationalize her behavior, or each time you silence your gut instincts, you sink deeper into a losing game. A Stoic does not cling to illusions. He does not waste years chasing loyalty from someone incapable of giving it. He does not try to control what is outside his power. Instead, he observes, he learns, and when necessary, he walks away not out of bitterness, but out of wisdom. The world is filled with women who are capable of love, of respect, of true partnership, but they are not found by men who waste their time on those who are incapable of it. If something feels off, it is. If you have to constantly prove your worth, you are in the wrong place. Love is not a battlefield where the strongest man wins. It is a garden where the wise man plants his time and energy in fertile soil. If she was never truly yours, no amount of devotion will change that. So walk away it when it's too late. Not after you've given everything, but the moment you realize you're watering dead roots. A Stoic knows some battles are won by refusing to fight. If this message resonates with you, please like, share, and subscribe for more content that will help you create the life you truly deserve. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.